Why did Darth Maul stop using the Darksaber? The Darksaber is considered one of the most powerful lightsabers in Star Wars. After Darth Maul defeated Pre Vizsla, he wielded it as a symbol of power and leadership. So why did he stop using it after the Clone Wars? First, there are combat-related reasons. Darth Maul is a master of Form 7 combat, a style designed for fast, aggressive, and chaotic double-bladed fighting. The Darksaber, however, is a single-bladed weapon. Its combat rhythm is more controlled and stable, which doesn't match Maul's natural fighting style. More importantly, the Darksaber reacts to the user's emotional and mental state. At the time, Maul was mentally fractured and emotionally unstable. Because of this, the blade felt heavy and unresponsive in his hands, almost like a burden. In order to become stronger in battle, Maul ultimately chose to abandon it. Then there is the symbolic nature of the Darksaber. In Star Wars, it is not just a weapon, it represents the rightful leadership of Mandalore. After Maul's defeat by Palpatine, he came to a harsh realization. Even possessing the Darksaber did not make him invincible or truly legitimate. That defeat forced him to reassess its meaning. Keeping it openly would no longer guarantee authority. Instead, it would make him a target for others seeking power and legitimacy. So Maul made a decision to hide the Darksaber. This not only reduced his risk of being hunted, but also allowed him to continue controlling Mandalorian forces from the shadows without relying on the symbol itself. Why didn't Darth Maul use his double-bladed lightsaber when he returned in the Clone Wars? Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber is his signature weapon, almost a symbol of who he is. So why, when he first returned in the Clone Wars, did he use a single-bladed saber instead? The truth is, it wasn't a stylistic choice, it was necessity. After being cut in half by Obi-Wan Kenobi, Maul didn't just suffer physical devastation, his mind shattered as well. For a long time, he lost his sense of identity, surviving only through pure, burning hatred. It wasn't until his brother Savage Opress found him that he was able to rebuild himself, including a new lower body. But this reconstruction came with a major flaw. He was no longer the balanced, precise warrior he once was. He had to relearn how to control his own body. And the double-bladed lightsaber is one of the most complex weapons in the galaxy. It requires extreme precision, perfect balance, and total control of movement. Even a slight mistake can be fatal. So when Maul first returned, he chose a single-bladed lightsaber instead. It was simply easier to control while he recovered. Only later, when he regained full stability and confidence, including during his confrontation with Ahsoka Tano, did he return to using a double-bladed form again. Why doesn't Darth Maul use Force Lightning? In Star Wars, Force Lightning is one of the signature abilities of the Sith, most famously mastered by Emperor Palpatine. So why has Darth Maul, also a Sith, never been seen using it? First, it comes down to his combat style. Maul's entire fighting system is built around extreme aggression and close-quarters lightsaber combat. For him, switching to a long-range ability like Force Lightning would not only be inefficient, but would also break his combat rhythm and disrupt his momentum. Second, it is a matter of training limitations. Maul was raised under Darth Sidious as a weapon, not as a full successor. He was trained to become a Sith assassin, not a Sith Lord in the traditional sense. As a result, Sidious likely never taught him advanced techniques such as Force Lightning. Finally, there is a practical limitation tied to his condition. After being cut in half and surviving through mechanical augmentation, Maul relies on cybernetic lower limbs to remain mobile. Force Lightning requires stable biological channels to properly channel and control energy output. While Maul is not as cybernetically dependent as Vader, his mechanical lower body is still integrated into his system. If he attempted to use Force Lightning, it could potentially disrupt or overload his cybernetic components. Why is Darth Maul's skin red? Darth Maul wasn't born with red skin. In early lore, Maul, like his brother Savage Opress, had a more typical Zabrak appearance, with a darker, yellowish tone. His transformation came from a ritual. Within the Night Brother culture on Dathomir, young male warriors must undergo a rite known as the Dutum ritual. They are taken to a ceremonial altar and submerged in a boiling pool infused with dark magic, swearing loyalty to Mother Talzin in the process. But here's the key question. Why did only Maul end up with such a unique appearance? The answer lies in how individuals react to the ritual. For some, it simply enhances their strength and willpower. For others, it completely rewrites them. Maul belongs to the latter. His extreme sensitivity to the dark side meant the energy didn't just affect him on the surface, it penetrated deep into his very biology. As a result, his body was fundamentally altered, and his skin turned a vivid, unnatural red. From a design perspective, there's also a deeper intention. Red and black form an inherently aggressive color scheme. Red symbolizes rage, danger, and Sith power, while black amplifies a sense of oppression and fear. Combined with his horned skull and striking facial markings, Darth Maul was designed to visually oppose the Jedi from the very moment he appeared.